tell me a little bit about why you wanted to join the program. What piqued your interest with DYW? How'd you hear about it? What did you learn about it that made you say, I want to do that?
Well, I go to a residential high school, so I live in a dorm
Oh, well.
on campus. And the girl that lived across the hall from me, her name was Irish Dre, and she knew that I played piano. So, and she had done Distinguished Young Woman in Mississippi and had gotten first runner up. And she was like, Grace Ann, there's this program that has a lot of scholarship opportunities, and it's for people like you who are pretty ambitious and talented and pretty smart, and you should look into it. So that's why I decided to. She was really the first experience I had ever had with it because at the DYW Mississippi program, I think there had only ever been one other Stone County person ever.
Wow.
But the girl that lived on my hall, Irish, she was the first one that told me about the program.
Okay, so really just word of mouth, and that's how you learned about
Yes,
it and the perks of everything. I think something that we really want to drive for people is that this is free. You didn't have to pay anything, to do this, and you're getting a chance to win money in return for your time and your efforts and talents to go to college. So, on that note, what are your plans for college? Do you have any aspirations, any goals yet? Do you have the place that you want to go in mind? Or are we still working out those details?
I'm not really sure where I want to go to college. I know that I really enjoy chemistry and I really enjoy doing organic chemistry. So I'm maybe going to major in biochemistry, but I hope to eventually become a plastic surgeon that specializes in pediatric facial reconstruction.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, so there's so many different avenues that you can go in, once you make it to college. But a lot of people don't even get the opportunity to go to college because it's so expensive. So with the DYW program and the opportunity to win scholarships, we really want to drive that home to people, that this is such a unique way to make your dreams come true and make it to college and have that opportunity. So what, as the state representative for Mississippi, what are you hoping to gain, now that you are the state rep and that you have this title?
Well, over the summer, I worked at a newspaper in my county, and I got to kind of use my title as Distinguished Young Woman of Stone County to go to a lot of places and to tell a lot of people about things that I was passionate about. And now, as the representative of Mississippi, I get to do that on an even larger scale, and I get to tell other people from around the country things about Mississippi that they might have preconceived notions about, because Mississippi is a victim of a lot of stigma and a lot of negatively targeted thoughts, I guess. But I'm excited to be able to use this platform to really get Mississippi out there and get rural communities out there, even more than Mississippi. And I'm also excited to use this platform to encourage young women to be ambitious and to teach them that it's okay to be confident because it gets you to things like DYW and to teach young women that it's okay to be outspoken because that's self-expression and it's okay to be opinionated and that they need to be opinionated because they have to know what's going on in the country or in the state or in the town that they live in.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, and it's not just specifically for Mississippi, but there are states that have such small towns that may not have resources or, anybody advocating for them to go further than their high school, and that's just really where they stop. So it's important that we get the message out there, that you can do hard things, that you are confident, you are strong-minded, you can do these things. But sometimes it just takes a little push, a little conversation. And so that's sort of what we're our mission this year, our goal. We're putting towards some effort towards a ripple effect. So when you think of a effect, you think dropping a rock into a pond and it just spreads even further. So that one small thing made a bigger difference. And so your one, time speaking to a class of elementary school students can maybe inspire them to keep making good grades, be respectful to their mom and dad, be nice to their peers. And then this one small gesture of spreading the word about distinguished young women can just have such a bigger impact on girls who may have not even heard about the program, or B, maybe were too afraid to even give it a chance. And just seeing you go out there they may say, wait, she can do it, I can do it. And so we want to spread this ripple effect even further than that. We want to gain engagement with people who want to do the program in the future. We want to gain more volunteers who want to donate their time. We want to gain more sponsors so that we can continue this program year after year. And so we're going to be going into year 69, 68, 68 this year. And it's just so incredible to see the tenure of all of this and how long it's lasted. And we couldn't do that without our volunteers or our sponsors. So what do you suggest that we do to sort of keep that momentum going so we can have 67, 68 more years of this to come and keep that traction going? What do you suggest we do?
Well, I think that the four be your best self traits are one of the main reasons that I got involved in the program because I was like, this is an opportunity for young women to showcase that they're smart. Because the most important ideal out of that for me is scholarship. I've always been driven by my academics. And I think that if we just drill that that's what the message of the program is to empower young women to be healthy, you know them. But and I think that especially in Mississippi, it's just not getting out to rural communities enough. I didn't know anything about the program until I moved 3.5 hours away to a bigger place. It's just word is not really getting out enough almost. And I think that people see it and they think that I know we don't like the word pageant, but they think that it's a pageant, so they stay away from it. But that's not at all what it is. And I think that if we can just kind of break that stigma around it, then we'll reach a lot more people and we'll reach a larger diversity of people because I think there's just, I don't know, people look at it and they think it's a pageant in Mississippi, and it's not a pageant. And I think there would be a lot more people who would be willing to participate in it if they knew that. And they also assume that it costs money, which it doesn't cost money. And I think they're just scared to get out there. But when people ask me about it, the first thing I say is that they have nothing to lose by participating. I mean, if you win a bunch of scholarships. If you lose, nothing happens.
Yeah. Well, if you lose, you're gaining new friends, you're gaining
Yeah.
this
You're
new
gaining
outlook on life.
networking.
Right. There's so many different things that just because you may not win the overall thing or you may not win talent, but you win self-expression, there's just so many different ways that you are a winner when you join the program, whether you actually win a certificate or not. And it's very true what you said. We're not a pageant, but we have a pageant format because of the different categories that we have. So yeah, we want to spread that word that this is, it's not something that is unattainable. It's not unreachable. You can do this thing because you're already smart. You can already play an instrument or whatever your talent is. It's just going on stage and doing it in front of an audience and presenting yourself in the best way, in the best light. And
And honestly, sorry.
go ahead.
When I didn't know a lot about the program at first, that's really what held me back because I was like, this is a pageant and that is not my thing. And then Iris kind of just told me about it. She was like, it's not a pageant. It's not a pageant. They have all these great things that they do and that they're instilling in young women, and it's a really great program. And that's what encouraged me to actually participate in it. And I think that DRW is really good about getting out there what their true like core intentions are. I think too much publicity does not exist. So I guess if we just really get out there with the Be Your Best Self ideals and with community projects and things like that, it would engage more membership.
Yeah, absolutely. And just getting the word out there by showing your face, showing this is what I had to do. It's not too hard. You can do it too.
Yeah.
And sort of just convincing them, starting that ripple effect that it's possible, it's achievable. So as the new state representative for Mississippi, what are you hoping to use your platform for? Is there anything specifically that you want to get out of this whenever you come to the end of national finals next year?
Mhm. I really hope to encourage not only young women, but young men in Mississippi to teach them that they're not limited to the environment around them. Because Mississippi is probably 90% rural, and a lot of education for a lot of people stops at high school or maybe even middle school. And that's not a bad thing. Higher education is not for everyone, but I don't think people realize how easily attainable it is if they really set their mind to something early in life. And I really hope to encourage other people in Mississippi that they need to start being ambitious around the ages of 11 and 12 so that they can make things like this happen for themselves. And just because they're from Mississippi does not mean they're anything less than anyone else. And just because they speak with a little twang doesn't mean that they're unintelligent. It just means that they have some character to them.
There you go.
And one thing that I really struggled with when I was entering this program was feeling insecure, kind of that I wasn't the pageant look, or feeling insecure that I just, you know, but I hope to use my platform to share body positivity to young women and show that being healthy is not a size, because that's something I've struggled with my entire life. I'm a pretty built person. I work out pretty regularly. And that was hard to come to terms with when I was little. I was like, oh my gosh, I look like a man. But I hope to use my platform to tell young women that every body is beautiful and healthy is not a size on a pair of jeans. And that's another thing I really want to use my platform for. So the two big things, education in Mississippi and body positivity in young women.
Yeah, and I think those are fantastic ideas. So, with that and with our um, program of Be Your Best Self, how do you strive to be your best self and sort of combat those negative thoughts when you're feeling insecure or when you're feeling down about yourself or not confident that you can do something? What do you do to sort of brush that under the rug and make that go away, or eliminate it altogether? What do you do to do that?
My big thing that I've been telling myself, as soon as I got into high school, I tried to tell myself to seize every moment and to take every opportunity and just try to get the most out of it that I could. So when I was walking into DIW, I was like, I'm not gonna walk into this like it's just something to do. I'm gonna like treat it like it's something that I'm really devoting my time to. Because if you're doing something and you're just gonna do it halfway, then why are you even there? It's just a waste of time. So, and that's how I've treated everything that I've done since freshman year. And it's really worked out for me. I've become a very ambitious person. And it's because I take every opportunity and I try to get the most out of it that I can. If I'm at like a school dance and the music is terrible, then I still dance and I still have fun because I'm there anyway. If I'm at school and they're having officer elections, I'm like, I should run for president because why not? I'm already at this club meeting and it works out. So I feel like if people try to just put themselves out there and really seize every moment, then it's going to work out eventually. It's just habits that have to be built and telling yourself that you're just as good at something or as a candidate for something as anyone else in the room is.
Yeah, just having that confidence about yourself, because if you don't feel confident in yourself, those around you probably aren't going to feel
Yeah.
confident in what you can do and your capabilities either. So it really starts inside. And I think that's what's great about DIW, because you may feel these insecure thoughts and, oh, you're not confident in something, but the girls that you meet in the program really just lift you up and encourage you. And again, like we said earlier, even if you don't win, you're coming out of this with so much more confidence and more friendships. And you really, I mean, you can't buy that. So I was telling you earlier, we're starting this ripple effect initiative this year, and we really want to spread the word and make a really big difference in those rural towns, or in the minds of sponsors who are keeping this program afloat. Because at the end of the day, that's how we can do this, is with those dollars that we're making from those donations. So, how do you suggest that we use this ripple effect message, or any other message that you can think of? How do you suggest we use it to get more people involved in the program, whether it's participants like yourself or volunteers who donate their time or even sponsors?
I would say participants like myself definitely need to get out into those rural communities and go talk to elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, talk to high school sophomores about the program, try to encourage people within their, like my community does not even have a local program. Mississippi has something called Distinguished Young Women at Large, which is kind of a catch-all for all the counties that don't have Distinguished Young Women. And all it takes is a volunteer and a few sponsors to get a local program running. And I think people are just scared to jump off and do it because if Stone County had a local program, we would have 10 to 12 people every year who wanted to participate in it. And then that's just more and more women encouraging themselves to be ambitious. But and it also could be beneficial for volunteers to like set up a table at a high school college fair or something just to really get the name out there. Because I think that if people knew about it and they knew that it was free and they knew that there was nothing to lose by doing it, there would be so much more participation. I
Mhm.
think the problem is just that not enough people know about it.
Yeah, totally. So just getting the word out there, making sure it's known, and talking about the benefits, the perks of this, because again, like we've said, you can't lose. It's all, um, no matter what level you compete in, no matter what you win or lose, you are coming out of this with something so much greater than before you came into it. So yeah, there's just so many more perks and there are more pros than there are cons. And that's what we love to see. That's why I like asking this question to y'all because you have such a unique perspective being in it and going through the different levels, and then now becoming the state representative. So, with that said, we are so excited to meet you in June. It's going to be here before we know it. And so, you are going into your senior year, and we are so excited about that. So, is there anything you're looking forward to in your senior year to, and it doesn't have to be with DYW, but just in general that you're just so excited about and ready to get started on?
I'm excited to not have so much studying all the time. Honestly, my schoolwork is a lot here, but and I'm also looking forward to my school does this really cool thing called College Reveal Day, and we are a STEM school, so we all get like personalized lab coats. It's a little nerdy, but we all have like white lab coats with our names on them. And no, everyone keeps it really hush hush where they're going to college because there's a lot of kids here who really go to those reach schools. And we all stand on the steps of our main academic building, and then someone counts down from 10, and then we all open our lab coats, and we're wearing like a shirt of whatever college we're going to. And I'm really excited to just participate in those senior things that I got to observe last year and be able to be the senior. And I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, so there's so much to look forward to in your senior year. Embrace it, love it. Um, Soak it all in because it is gone in the blink of an eye. I can't believe I'm 14 years past my senior year of high school, which is crazy. So it was one of the best times of my life and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But a lot of times we take stuff for granted and we don't really soak in those moments. So any piece of advice that I have, it would be soak it all in, appreciate it. Even if you don't love every moment of it, it's okay. Sort of like DYW. You may not love every moment of it, but it's still so good for you and so beneficial. And you're going to meet so many people. And when you come here, you're going to get to say you know somebody in every single state, which is so fun.
I
Um,
am really excited for that to just like talk to other people about the cultures of their own
yeah.
states.
I mean, just hearing the different accents is very cool.
I hope they're not disappointed that I don't have that much of a drawl being from Mississippi.
No, there's still Alabama, Tennessee, Texas.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Have a great senior year. Um, and we will see you in June and get ready to eat some raw oysters.
Oh, y'all aren't even ready. My
Okay, good.
parents, my parents said that I learned oyster division before like all the other divisions. I was like 3 years old and we would get a dozen raw oysters and I would be like, everyone gets four. And that's how I learned division. I
That's
love raw
great.
oysters.
Oh, that's great. Then yeah, I hope you have some competition. But who won? Montana won this year with 44 oysters. 44. Yeah. And then the next one was 41, I think. So competition may be stiff. I don't know.
I might just eat my 12 and then dip. I don't
Well,
know about 44 oysters.
crazy. It's crazy. I couldn't do it.